Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this session. In today's session, we'll discuss about transform analysis of an LTI system. In the last class, we discussed about InnoZ transform. We solved the problems on InnoZ transform by using partial fraction method and the power series expansion method. Today, we will discuss about the transfer function, then relationship between transfer function and the difference equation. Then we'll check the causality and stability of an LTI system in terms of ROC. Then we'll solve the problems related to that. The transform analysis on LTI system. First we'll define what is transfer function. The transfer function is also called a system function. It is generally denoted as h of z. And we have defined the transfer function as the z transform of the impulse response of an LTI system. It is given by h of z is equal to the summation over k from minus infinity plus infinity h of k into z to the power minus k. The definition of z transform is applied for a impulse response. And we know that in time domain representation, the LTI system can be represented in terms of impulse response as y of n, the output signal, is equal to x of n convolved with the h of n, where h of n is called impulse response. If I take the z transform of this equation, we'll get to y of z is equal to x of z into h of z. So this is one of the property of z transform. We'll call it as a convolution property. Now, based on this equation, I'll define the transfer function. The transfer function can be written as h of z is equal to y of z divided by x of z, where y of z is z transform of y of n and x of z is the z transform of x of n. And this h of z, we call it as a transfer function. It is the ratio of y of z by x of z. So next we'll discuss about relationship between a transfer function and the difference equation. So difference equation is commonly used for a discrete time signal, and that is represented in terms of the output y of n is represented in terms of delayed version of input signal and output. That is, it depends upon the present value and the present and past value of input and output. For discrete time signal, we'll use a difference equation, whereas for a continuous time signal, we'll use a differential equation. There's one more way of representing the time domain signal. And we know that the transfer function can be obtained directly from the difference equation description of an LTI system. That is, it is a standard representation of an difference equation with its coefficient. Write this as summation k 0 to n ak into y of n minus k is equal to summation k 0 to m bk into x of n minus k, where n and m is the order of the numerator and denominator, or order of the output and input. N is order of the output and m is order of the input. This equation represents the general form of a difference equation. If I'll expand this equation, I'll get a difference equation that is in terms of present and past value of input and output. Now, if I take the z transform this equation by using the time shifting property, I can write this as the summation over k from 0 to n ak into z to the power minus k into y of z is equal to summation over k is equal to 0 to m bk into z to the power minus k into x of z. So you know that By using a time shifting property, I can write the z transform of this as z to the power minus k into y of z, whereas this I can write it as z to the power minus k into x of z. From this, I'll write the ratio of y of z by x of z, the y of z by x of z, that is equal to transfer function h of z, and we will get the equation as summation k over 0 to m b k into z to the power minus k divided by summation k over 0 to n a k into the power minus k, where bk is the coefficient, the constant coefficients of input, and ak is the constant coefficient of output. And if I'll expand this equation, I'll get in terms of a rational function. By using this, I can represent the poles and zeros of our transfer function. You can obtain the poles and zeros of different transfer function also. For the transfer function described by a difference equation is a ratio of polynomial in Z inverse, and it is termed as rational transfer function. This function is called the rational transfer function. It is in terms of negative powers of Z, to the power minus k, to the power minus k. Suppose this equation, if it is from 0 to 2, then write pk k from 0 to 2 bk z to the power minus k. Then I'll expand it. We'll get b0 plus b1 z inverse plus b2 z to the power minus 2. Similarly, in the denominator, we'll get a0 plus a1 z inverse plus a2 z to the power minus 2. So this is a relationship between the transfer function and difference equation. The next we'll discuss about causality and stability of an LTI system. You know that what is causal, what is the condition for a causal system for an LTI system, and similarly know that what is the condition for a stable system of an LTI system. Here it will represent in terms of ROC, or in terms of poles and poles of h of z. First we'll discuss about causality. The impulse response of an LTI system is 0 for n less than 0. So is the definition in terms of impulse response. The impulse response of an LTI system is 0 for n less than 0. That is, h of n is equal to 0 for n less than 0. The meaning is it's having the value for n greater than or equal to 0 only. Only right sided will get the values. Other than it will be 0. So this is the condition for an impulse response for causality. That is, the impulse response of a causal LTI system is determined from the transfer function by using right-sided inverse transform. So always we'll consider right-sided inverse transform. By using that, we'll obtain the impulse response. And one more condition is in terms of ROC. If there are many poles are present, suppose there are two poles are present, one is at 1 by 2, other one is at 1, then ROC should be outside the outermost pole. And if I use that condition, then I'll get all a right-sided sequence. So that is, ROC should be outside the outermost pole. Next, we'll discuss about stability. The system is stable and the impulse response is absolutely summable. If we'll get a finite values of impulse response, then we'll call the system as stable. That is given by the summation of n is from minus infinity plus infinity. The absolute value of h of n should be less than infinity. This is the condition for a system to be stable in terms of impulse response. Now in terms of ROC, the ROC must include the unit circle. The pole and the unit circle together define the behavior of the system. And the very important thing is to define a stable system, it should include a unit circle. Unit circle meaning is I'll draw a circle with the radius 1 and ROC must include that. Then only we'll call the system as stable. This is a condition for causality and stability. Now if I want to satisfy both causality and stability, then the condition should be, it should be outside the outermost pole. And one more thing is the ROC must include the unit circle. Then we'll call it as the system is both stable and causal. Now we'll solve some problems related to this. an LTI system has impulse response h of n is equal to 0.5 to the power n u of n. Determine the input to the system. The output is given by y of n is equal to 0.5 to the power n u of n plus minus 0.5 to the power n u of n. So this appeared in model question paper 1. This question is appeared in model question paper 1. And here the impulse response is given and the output is given. And you need to find out the input signal x of n. And we'll write this h of n. The h of n is given by 0.5 to the power n into u of n. Let y of n is equal to 0.5 to the power n u of n plus minus 0.5 to the power n into u of n. Now we know that the transfer function is given by h of z is equal to y of z by x of z. From this equation I will write x of z. So therefore x of z will be written as take to the left hand side. So y of z by h of z. I'll take the z transform of h of n and y of n. And you know that this is u of n. U of n is there. So this is a right sided sequence and both are right sided sequence here. So directly I'll write h of z is equal to 1 divided by 1 minus 0.5 z inverse. The z transform of h of n is given by h of z. This is given by 1 by 1 minus 0.5 z inverse. Similarly, the z transform of y of n is y of z, that is given by 1 by 1 minus 0.5 z inverse plus 1 by 1 plus 0.5 z inverse, because here I can consider a is minus 0.5 and minus into minus will get plus here. So this is 1 by 1 plus 0.5 z inverse. Now I'll simplify this, so I'll get this equation as 2 divided by 1 minus 0.5 z inverse into 1 plus 0.5 z inverse. Just cross multiplication, you'll get this answer. This is y of z. The next we'll write x of z is equal to, this is y of z and this is my h of z. I'll write it as 2 divided by 1 minus 0.5 z inverse into 1 plus 0.5 z inverse divided by 1 by 1 minus 0.5 z inverse. This will go to the numerator, therefore this equation will be 2 into 1 minus 0.5 z inverse divided by 1 minus 0.5 z inverse into 1 plus 0.5 z inverse. Then this get cancels. I get the remaining term as 2 by 1 plus 0.5 z inverse, that is equal to x of z. Now taking the inverse z transform of this, directly you take the inverse z transform of this, we'll get x of n, that is given by x of n is equal to 2 into minus 0.5 to the power n u of n. So here h of n and y of n is given, you have to find out x of n. Similarly, in some of the problems they will give x of n and h of n, you have to find out y of n, or y of n and x of n will be given, you have to find out h of n. The same procedure will be followed. The second problem, an LTI system has input x of n is equal to minus 1 by 3 to the power n u of n, and the output is y of n is equal to 3 into minus 1 to the power n u of n plus 1 by 3 to the power n u of n. Determine the impulse response of the system. Here, as I mentioned, here they are given x of n is given and y of n is given, and you have to find out impulse response means h of n you have to calculate. So I'll write the given signal. The x of n is equal to minus 1 by 3 to the power n into u of n, and y of n is equal to 3 into minus 1 to the power n u of n plus 1 by 3 to the power n u of n. Again taking the z transform of x of n and y of n, so you'll get x of z. So x of z is equal to 1 by 1 plus 1 by 3 z inverse, because here a is minus 1 by 3, so minus into minus will be plus. So 1 divided by 1 plus 1 by 3 z inverse. With ROC I can write mod z is greater than 1 by 3. Similarly, the y of z I can write as 3 by 1 plus z inverse. Again this a is minus 1, so it is minus into minus, it is plus 1 plus z inverse plus 1 by 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse. As it is a right-sided sequence, then I'll write the ROC is mod z is greater than 1. Mod z is greater than 1. I will simplify this, so I'll cross multiply this. 3 into 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse plus 1 into 1 plus z inverse divided by 1 plus z inverse into 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse. So after simplification, this kit cancels here, so you'll get the numerator as 4, denominator 1 plus z inverse into 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse. This is my y of z. Next, the transfer function h of z is equal to y of z by x of z. Y of z by x of z. The h of z is equal to 4 divided by 1 plus z inverse into 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse divided by 1 by 1 plus 1 by 3 z inverse. This is my x of z, this is y of z, and this will go to the numerator. So this will be 4 into 1 plus 1 by 3 z inverse divided by 1 plus z inverse into 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse. With ROC's mod z is greater than 1. Now, to obtain the impulse response, I have to take the inverse Z transform of this. This is, if I take the inverse Z transform this h of z, I will get h of n. So I need impulse response h of n. So directly it is not possible to take the inverse Z transform. So you have to apply the partial fraction method. And to apply the partial fraction method, first you have to check whether it is in the proper order or not. It is a proper rational function or improper rational function. So to check that, you have to check the order of the numerator and denominator. What is order of the numerator here? Order of the numerator is 1. What about the order of the denominator? If I multiply this z inverse and the z inverse, you get it over minus 2. So order of the denominator is 2. So m is equal to 1 and n is equal to 2. So you can apply partial fraction method directly. So you know how to apply a partial fraction, solve problems on inverse Z transform, and write h of z is equal to a divided by 1 plus z inverse plus b divided by 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse, and cross multiply this, you'll get 4 plus 4 by 3 z inverse is equal to a into 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse plus b into 1 plus z inverse. Now consider z inverse is equal to minus 1. Now to find out the values of a and b. For z inverse is equal to minus 1, you'll get a is equal to 2. And similarly, put z inverse is equal to 3, you'll get b is equal to 2. So you'll get the answer b is equal to 2. Therefore, h of z, I can write it as 2 divided by 1 plus z inverse plus 2 divided by 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse. 2 divided by 1 plus z inverse and 2 divided by 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse. Now taking the inverse Z transform with ROC, mod Z is greater than 1. So here that's what ROC is important to take the inverse Z transform here. And if I take the inverse Z transform this, I'll get h of n is equal to 2 into, this term is plus here, so I can write it as a minus 1 to the power n u of n plus 2 into 1 by 3 to the power n into u of n, because a is 1 by 3 here, whereas here a is minus 1. So 2 into minus 1 to the power n u of n plus 2 into 1 by 3 to the power n into u of n. Because the signal is multiplied with u of n, because ROC will define it as mod z is greater than 1. So therefore it will get a right-sided sequence. Now here you are calculating h of n by given data is y of n and x of n is given, you have to find out h of n. The next problem this appeared in the model question paper 1, and a stable and causal LTI system is described by the difference equation is equal to y of n plus 0.25 y of n minus 1 minus 0.125 y of n minus 2 is equal to minus 2 into x of n plus 1.25 to x of n minus 1. So this is a given difference equation. You have to find out the system impulse response. So I need to find out impulse response. Now procedure to calculate the impulse response. first I have to find out the system function, I mean the transfer function, and finally I have to take the inverse Z transform of this. This, as I mentioned, this is appeared in the model question paper 1. Now given the y of n is equal to plus 0.25 y of n minus 1 minus 0.25 into y of n minus 2 is equal to minus 2 into x of n plus 1.25 into x of n minus 1. So this is a difference equation. This is delayed by 1, this is delayed by 2, this is input delayed by 1. Now taking the Z transform both sides, take the Z transform this particular equation. You know that the Z transform of y of n is y of z. I'll directly write y of z, and Z transform of y of n minus 1 is given by z inverse into y of z. So z inverse into y of z. So these are the constant here. This is constant. This is b1. This is b2, and similarly this is a0, and this is a1 and a2, and this is b0 and b1. Therefore, y of z plus 0.25 z inverse into y of z minus 0.125 z to the power minus 2 into y of z is equal to minus 2 into x of z plus 1.25 into z inverse into x of z. Now I will collect y of z. I will take y of z as a common term. So I will get y of z is equal to 1 plus 0.25 z inverse minus 0.125 z to the power minus 2 is equal to x of z minus 2 plus 1.25 z inverse. And as I mentioned, I will find out the transfer function, then I will take the inverse Z transform of this, then I will get the impulse response. Now I will write h of z is equal to the ratio of output, that is y of z by x of z. It is given by minus 2 plus 1.25 z inverse divided by 1 plus 0.25 z inverse minus 0.125 z to the power minus 2. So I will factorize this. I'll get the roots as 1 by 4 and 1 by 2. One I'll get minus, other one I'll get plus. So I'll get 1 by 4 and minus 1 by 2. So I'll write this as minus 2 plus 1.25 z inverse divided by 1 minus 0.25 z inverse into 1 plus 0.5 z inverse. And to obtain impulse response, here I have to apply the partial fraction method. To apply a partial fraction method, first we have to verify the order of the numerator and denominator. So here, what is the order of the numerator? 1. What is the order of the denominator? Z inverse into Z inverse, let z to the power minus 2. So order is 2. So I can apply partial fraction method directly. I'll write this h of z is equal to a divided by 1 minus 0.25 z inverse plus b divided by 1 plus 0.5 z inverse. Then cross multiplication, I'll get a into 1 plus 0.5 z inverse plus b into 1 minus 0.25 z inverse is equal to minus 2 plus 1.25 z inverse. The next step is find out the constant values, that is a and b. I have to find out the values for a and b. For that I will put z inverse is equal to 4 in this particular, and that equation I'll get a is equal to 1. Next I'll put z inverse is equal to minus 2. I'll get b is equal to minus 3. B is equal to minus 3. Next h of z, I'll write h of z as equal to 1 divided by 1 minus 0.25 z inverse plus minus 3 divided by 1 plus 0.5 z inverse. Minus 3 divided by 1 plus 0.5 z inverse. Now they mentioned in the problem you have to find out the impulse response for stable and causal system, because they are not given any ROC. Now by using the stable and causal system I have to define the ROC. Based on that I have to take the inverse Z transform. The condition for a stable system in terms of ROC is it must include a unit circle. The ROC must include a unit circle, and for a causal system ROC must be outside the outermost pole. So here there are two poles are there. One is at 1 by 4, that is 0.25. Other one is at 1 by 2. Minus 1 by 2 means 1 by 2. So that is 0.5. Now 1 by 2 is greater than 1 by 4. So outermost pole is 1 by 2 here. 1 by 2. Now To define a causal condition, I'll draw a circle with the radius 1 by 2. Draw a circle with the radius 1 by 2, and I'll mention the ROC outside the circle, outside the outermost pole. Now I'll draw one circle with the radius 1, and this 1 anyway it is greater than 1 by 2, so it includes ROC includes a unit circle. ROC includes a unit circle. So this is a ROC which is mentioned in the Z plane. Therefore, to take the inverse Z transform this, I have to define the ROC. So ROC I write as mod Z is greater than 1 by 2. It is outside the outermost pole, and it is also includes the unit circle. So this will satisfy your condition, stable and causal. The mod Z is greater than 1 by 2. Now taking inverse Z transform this, I'll get h of n is equal to 0.25 to the power n into u of n minus 3 into minus 0.5 to the power n u of n. So both are right sided sequence here, and here this is minus 0.5, so I write it as minus 0.5 to the power n u of n. This is 0.25, so 0.25 to the power n into u of n, and I'll combine this. I'll take u of n outside, the second write it as 0.25 to the power n minus 3 into minus 0.5 to the power n into u of n. So this is the answer. The difference equation is given, and the procedure is you have to take the Z transform of that, then find out the transfer function. After finding the transfer function, based on the ROC, you have to obtain the impulse response. To obtain impulse response, you have to apply inverse Z transform. The next problem is a discrete LTE system is characterized by the following difference equation. Y of n is equal to y of n minus 1 plus y of n minus 2 plus x of n minus 1. Find the system function, indicate ROC if system is stable, indicate ROC if system is causal, and obtain impulse response in both the cases. So here you have to find out the system function, then you have to mention the ROC for a stable condition, then you have to mention the ROC for the causal condition. Finally, you have to write the impulse response for both stable condition and causal condition. This question is also appeared in model question paper 2. And this is a difference equation. First I had to find out the system function. So I'll write y of n is equal to y of n minus 1 plus y of n minus 2 plus x of n minus 1. I'll take all these output terms to the left hand side. Y of n minus y of n minus 1 minus y of n minus 2 is equal to x of n minus 1. Now taking Z transform both the sides, we get y of z minus z inverse into y of z minus z to the power minus 2 into y of z is equal to z inverse into x of z. So I'll take y of z is common term. I'll get 1 minus z inverse minus z to the power minus 2 is equal to z inverse into x of z. Now I'll write the system function. We know that system function or transfer function is one and same. The system function will be given by y of z by x of z. It's given by z inverse divided by 1 minus z inverse minus z to the power minus 2. Now to find the roots here, I'll get the two roots. One is at minus 0.62, other one is at plus 1.62. System function, this is a system function equation. If I want to write in terms of positive powers of z, then we will get this equation. And I have factorized this. The roots I will get, as I mentioned, one is at minus 1 by minus 0.62, other one is 1.62. If I can write z divided by z plus 0.62 into z minus 1.62. So I name this equation as 1. The next define ROC for a stable condition. You know that for a stability, it should include a unit circle, and there are two poles are there. One is at 0.62 or minus 0.62. Another one is at 1.62. 1.62 and the 0.62. Now it must include a unit circle. And I have to define ROC in such a way that it must include a unit circle. And the one pole is 0.62, other one is 1.62. Now I'll consider here the two poles I mentioned here. One is at 0.62, other one is at 1.62. And I'll define mod z is greater than 0.62. This is one condition. Another one I'll mention mod z is less than 1.62. If I'll combine this, then I can write mod z is greater than 0.62, and at the same time mod z is less than 1.62. Now for the first condition, ROC is outside, correct, right? ROC is outside the circle. And for the second condition, ROC is inside the circle. And I can observe the one is in between 0.62 and 1.62. So I'll draw a circle with a radius 1. So here ROC includes a unit circle. So this is a condition, I mean ROC for a system to be stable. And one important observation here, the ROC should not include any poles. It's one of the property of ROC, should not include a pole. So in that way you have to define the ROC. The next condition is ROC if system is causal. And for the system to be causal, ROC must be outside the outermost pole. So outside the outermost pole. So outermost pole is here 1.62. So I'll write the ROC as mod z is greater than 1.62. Mod z is greater than 1.62. Now I'll draw a circle with the radius 1.62. The one pole is here 1.62, other one is at 0.62. And I'll mention ROC outside the circle of radius 1.62. So outermost pole. So this is a condition for a causality. So you mention indicate the ROC for a system to be stable and system to be a causal. Next, we defined equation 1 there. From equation 1, you can write h of z is equal to z inverse divided by 1 plus 0.62 z inverse into 1 minus 1.62 z inverse. I write in terms of negative powers of z. And the fourth condition, since I have to obtain here the impulse response h of n. To obtain impulse response, I have to take the inverse Z transform. And here taking inverse Z transform is not possible directly, so I have to apply the partial fraction method. So I apply a partial fraction method. H of z is equal to a divided by 1 plus 0.62 z inverse plus b divided by 1 minus 1.62 z inverse. Cross multiplication will get a into 1 minus 1.62 z inverse plus b into 1 plus 0.62 z inverse is equal to z inverse. I will put z inverse is equal to 0.62. I will get the value of b. B is 0.45. And similarly, I will put z inverse is equal to minus 1.62. I will get a is equal to minus 0.45. I will substitute a and b in this equation. So I will get h of z is equal to minus 0.45 divided by 1 plus 0.62 z inverse plus 0.45 divided by 1 minus 1.162 z inverse. So this is my equation 2. Now I have to obtain the impulse response for both the conditions. One is ROC for a stable system, other one is ROC for a causal system is defined, and for that I have to obtain the impulse response. Now to obtain for a stable system, I have defined the ROC that mod z is greater than 0.62 and mod z is less than 1.62. So you can observe here, for one you will get right sided sequence, other one will get a left sided sequence. So we'll get a left sided sequence. So I'll write impulse response. I'll taking the inverse transform of this, I'll get minus 0.45 minus 0.62 to the power n u of n. And here this should be minus, okay, minus 0.45 because left sided sequence defined as minus a to the power n u of minus n minus 1. So this will be minus, this should be minus 0.45 1.62 to the power n u of minus n minus 1. So second term is left sided sequence because ROC's mod z is less than 1.62, whereas the first term is right sided sequence. Similarly, for ROC for a causal system, the mod z is greater than 1.62. Now taking the inverse Z transform in this equation 2, I'll get h of n is equal to minus 0.45 to minus 0.62 to the power n u of n plus 0.45 1.62 to the power n u of n. So both are right sided sequence because ROC is outside the circle with the radius 1.62. So you'll get both are right sided sequence. So the very important problem. So this is also appeared in a model question paper, and here difference equation is given. You have to find out the system function, then you have to define the ROC for a stable condition, causal condition, then you have to find out the impulse response. Next problem is determine the transfer function and the difference equation representation of an LTI system described by the impulse response. We'll solve this in the next class. I'll obtain the equation. This question is appeared in the model question paper, and this is also appeared in the question paper. And the last, these are the questions which has appeared in the model question paper. We'll discuss that. Thank you.